Hi guys, so I want to review another Nishane fragrance. I'm just kind of all into Nishane these days, and I picked up another one blind buy, and it is Ambra Calabria. And I'll tell you why I picked this one, as opposed to like oolong cha, which gets talked about more these days. This, as you know, it's summer, and this is by many considered a summer scent. A little bit more on that later, but it is a scent that can work in the summer, but it has some weight to it. As the name suggests, it does contain amber, and this fragrance, I'm into fragrances that sort of have a little bit, are more unique, have more artistic kind of qualities. And this one is definitely a unique scent, but I'll tell you off the bat that I can't recommend it for everyone, and I don't think that you should blind buy this, because it's for the kind of person who wants to get a fragrance and enjoys fragrances for sort of the artistic merit, like I said. But there are qualities about this that may throw off some people, and you might argue for some people not justify the price tag, right? But in terms of the uniqueness factor, it is 10 out of 10. You won't smell anything quite like it, because this is a fragrance that's sort of the epitome of contrast. And contrast always, to me, makes a fragrance, it takes it to the next level. So this is a fragrance that is bitter but sweet, and warm but fresh, right? So it's warm, but it's wearable in the summer and even in very hot weather. I wouldn't say this is a very cooling, kind of very refreshing scent, but something about it, and we'll get more into it, makes it very wearable no matter how hot it gets. Actually, I wore it today and it was 90 degrees. All right, it is 90 degrees outside right now. So about the scent. So the listed top note, there's bergamot and green notes, various green notes. What you get is, on the first spray, I get very zesty citrus opening, and to me, because it mixes with the green notes, it gives off sort of a lime feel. Okay, you know how lime is sort of bitter but tart at the same time, not such like a sweet, juicy mandarin orange kind of citrus. So I get a lime feel, even though the note is really bergamot, and right away, you can feel that there is this strong bitter facet to this fragrance. Okay, and that is coming from this galbanum note that's in here. And not only that, I guess there are probably other ingredients that are giving it this very, very green quality. And I wasn't sure. I mean, it could be a little bit off-putting at first, but rest assured, it's gonna fade. But you do get a very bitter green aspect to this fragrance that you may or may not like. Okay, so if that sounds appealing, you'll like the scent. But otherwise not. But like I was saying, that sort of zesty, sharp opening actually doesn't last all that long, and doesn't last more than a few minutes before you do get more of the deeper, sweeter qualities that kick in. Interesting that the amber is sort of what gets talked about, what it's named after, but there is a lot of vanilla in here. So for me, and of course, amber can give off a vanilla sort of scent anyway, but there is an official listed note of vanilla. So what I get is, I start to pretty quickly, right? Within minutes, you feel, oh, it's fresh, but wait a second, like there is this undertone of a sweet vanilla coming in, and it doesn't feel like an all that kind of light scent, okay? Light citrus summer scent. It's definitely not that category, despite being fresh. There is this kind of creamy vanilla that slides in there, all right? And that is sort of what I would say sort of the main part of this fragrance later on, especially in the dry down. In the heart, you also have jasmine and coriander. The coriander, I mean, this is not really a spicy fragrance. The coriander just, I think, adds to the freshness of this fragrance. It is a really good supporting note here, gives it that lift, right? Doesn't make this fragrance too heavy. But this jasmine, that's something we got to talk about, because in the dry down, ultimately, it's weird. This is where it is not sort of the most mass appealing scent because I would call this a kind of floral vanilla scent in the dry down. And because you have this very prominent jasmine note and a kind of indolic, animalic jasmine, right? It's very heady floral. And so it does give off a little bit of a feminine, again, makeup vibe and a slight feminine quality. I think most people would say this is unisex, and it is, but for those people who are looking for a masculine scent, this is definitely not a masculine scent because of this floral aspect that is a big part of this fragrance. And I can smell it even as, you know, as it's dried down here on the nozzle, you know, it's quite floral, okay? So, you know, this composition, it's unique, but luckily, you know, it's not a complicated fragrance to describe or understand. What you get in the dry down, there are basically two stages, that opening, fresh opening, and then the dry down, the sweet dry down. What you get in the dry down is a floral vanilla scent. It turns more creamy, slightly powdery, and so if you don't like that scent, that kind of feel, a powdery amber, you should probably avoid this fragrance. Don't think that this is sort of gonna be like your white t-shirt kind of scent. I don't think it is, even though, like I said, it is quite wearable. Where I see this scent going is sort of, it's the perfect cool summer's night scent, okay? Because of this contrast between the fresh, right, and zesty, bitter, green feel in the opening, and, you know, you do get some of it sort of staying there, but primarily it turns into a sweet, sexy vanilla scent. So it is sort of, to me, a more mysterious, nice, cool summer night scent, okay, or a date scent in the summer, rather than sort of an all day long scent, which in really high heat, it is a bit sweet, and the floral, like I said, is a bit heavy. It sort of weighs me down, but it is very wearable, okay? And that kind of gets into the performance. I think for an extrait de parfum and for a Nishane fragrance, compared to the other Nishanes, it's not as strong a performer. It is there, you know, it will last and last and last, but the thing is that it doesn't project all that much compared to your other the other Nishanes that I've reviewed, like Hachivat or Ani. Those are potent, right? And you could just smell it off yourself, no problem. But this one, you'll need a little bit more sprays, and then it's not like a super strong sort of scent. So that could be good or bad for you. Okay, so I would say this is kind of the definition of a niche scent in that it is unique. You're not going to smell anything that blends this sweet vanilla amber with this really bitter, really zesty lime citrus opening, really green. But at the same time, it's not the most mass appealing scent because of the heady florals, because of this slightly feminine powdery feel that it can give in the dry down. I don't think that, you know, it's gonna work for everyone, or it's gonna be justified. The price tag is gonna be justified for everybody. Okay, if you're looking for kind of artistic scents that are different from everything else on the market, I think that this is indispensable. It is kind of should be part of your dictionary, all right, for fragrance connoisseurs. Or for in terms of compliments, you know, I don't see this coming on top of Hachivat or Ani. Okay, so that's my take on this one. Maybe I will see how good Wulong Cha is and tell you about that. But pretty good summer scent. The price I got it for was, I believe, like close to around $150. So it's a bit expensive for what you get. But again, if you are a lover of niche scents, you will like this. All right, so let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.